sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Okay, here I go. Alexa should be joining me too shortly here. So unfortunately, I was having issues yesterday. You guys know how the live ended. And once I actually rebooted my computer, after we got off of the Drunk Turkey show, then yeah, now everything's looking good. I was like, oh, please don't give me a headache, YouTube. But anyways, everything's good to go. Just needed to reboot my computer. So for anyone that coming into this live, yes, we were on the Drunk Turkey show. If you're not aware of the Drunk Turkey show, that's Daniel and the boys, but typically it's mostly been Daniel because the other boys are busy. Well, they're all busy, but Daniel keeps the channel up and running and everything, and on his Spotify and the different media sources and stuff like that. But anyways, so yes, me and Alexa were on the Drunk Turkey show because we said when we were on the last live that if it was a guilty verdict that we would get drinks, and we would drink in honor of course, Abby and Libby, and celebrate the victory of, what do you want to call it? The victory of the jury getting it right and finding Richard Allen guilty. So it's a good day. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Ben. For Stream Labs or Stream Yards? Because there's two. Yeah. So Stream Labs, I don't pay a fee because I just use their basic free stuff in a sense. Unless I'm paying for it, I just don't realize it somewhere on a bill somewhere. But other than that, Ari is innocent. Maybe you need a few drinks. I don't think so. But hey, if that's your opinion, so be it. It's going to go against most of the channel's opinion. But hey, if you think so, and you think you have solid reasons for that, enjoy that. Don't care. He was found guilty because he's exactly where he belongs. And there's plenty of evidence to prove that. But at the end of the day, right? If people still want to believe that he's innocent and stuff like that, that's your God-given right. Yeah. So anyway, didn't you like that one troll that came in there? That was like, there's always that one person that's going to be like, Sonny, something about Cake and Dunker. You're so funny, Brad. Like just tards like that. Anyway, those are just laughable. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Sonny. Loving the bedtime lives. I watch in bed as I fall asleep. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm so glad I can put you to sleep. I know that I listen to a lot of YouTube channels as I'm going to bed as well. And that, within literally 2 minutes, I'll be asleep. But it's not because some of them bore me. It's just because I'm listening. And the next thing you know, I'm passed out, which is a good thing. So I usually always have my iPad right beside me, with me, basically, I love my iPad. No, I don't love my iPad because it needs more memory. I need to get another iPad. It can go up to like 5 gigs or something like that. Like only $3,000 for that iPad. Sunny Alexa and Daniel had a great live tonight. Yes, we did. We did what we were gonna do, which was, have a couple drinks or so as we were, because like I said, we said if it was a guilty verdict, that we'd go back on the Drunk Turkey show. And so, thank you, Daniel, for having us on. Love those boys. Really respect people that are very respectful to the channel and just as people in general, right? Um, listening, listening from the gym, you do that. Work out for me. Thank you guys. I know, like I said, I was just testing out it, and then I thought, you know what? Let me just come back for a little bit and hang with you guys. This was a very important case for many of us along the way. So, hey guys, 4 a.m. here may not be looking, yeah, long busy day on there. Thank you, thank you, Miss Dog Lover, and thank you for the super chats to Daniel over there as well. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a bit cheeky here, okay? Because if anyone does feel like ever donating, this is my Christmas present for me would be if you guys donate in November. So that way, when it's December, that my husband can enjoy some days off at Christmas with me, because he doesn't get paid for his vacation because he gets paid for his on all the other ones. We finally just paid off our vehicle after 6.5 years. But just meaning for those people that do donate for whatever reasons, this would go towards what I call the Christmas fund for my husband. So November, you get in December. And of course, so just right before Christmas. So if anyone does, I don't usually like to bring up stuff like that because it makes me feel awkward and stuff like that. But I know that there's people out there that, do little Christmas presents. But that would be my Christmas wish, okay? Is for donations in November, and not December, if possible. I hate being cheeky like that, but I do always like to do things. But for my husband, he works so hard all the time, and I just want him to enjoy some days off properly without feeling stressed about money. It's been a long 3 years, to be honest with you. Yeah. Sunny, do you pay? Oh, what? So yeah, so I've answered that. There's the innocent person. We'll get that off and on. No offense. A jury found him guilty. Absolutely. But I mean, I agree with Alexa. I mean, just in general, when you think about it, so all the people that were just going, oh my God, the jurors just have such great, wonderful questions. They're just amazing, are the same people that are now trashing him because of RA being found guilty. Again, we were talking a little bit about these disrespectful signs of I love Ricky and stuff like that. Hey, you know what? People can be morons and idiots all they want to. But, it's one of those things like at the end of the day, come on now. This is about two girls that were murdered. This isn't about how much somebody loves Ricky and stuff like that. If you feel like he's innocent, great. Hold up that sign that says, RA is innocent. But to sit there and say we love Ricky, that's just disgusting. Honestly, that's just beyond scum, pond scum, manure, camel shit, whatever you want to call it. The evidence is BF. It's wrong, and I know. No, you're wrong. You're wrong on that. The evidence is what convicted him. That's just the thing. What evidence do you have? Who else would you put there? This is about being. This is about using critical thinking and using the evidence that was put before us. Okay, someone self confesses. They put themselves there. In his own words, he confesses. And people want to try to take away from that, like the defense job. I don't get people that just, when I'm not looking at it because I want to get RA convicted, right? I'm looking at it because the evidence has shown that RA, in his own words, whether it's from the time he placed himself there, he placed himself there. And for anyone that really wants to take away from that, I think you need to go look at your thoughts on about that, because what is it that's showing that he's innocent? What is it? Tell me about this timeline that Richard Allen has that he can tell us where he was, because he placed himself on the bridge at the exact time of the murders. Like, are you not seeing that at all? Are you not seeing that his confessions, all of them, that perhaps he was just trying to get it out to his family? Bottom line is that there's reasonable thinking here, and a reasonable person, when they're thinking about this case, would understand that no one would really confess that many times, that usually they're begging just to get one confession, let alone as many as they did, including to his mother. So that's just common sense there. So tell me all these facts that prove that he's innocent, considering he put himself there at the time. You can't take back 5.5 years later and change your story up because now you're trying to get out of it. Mm. And that whole and he wasn't so traumatized that he didn't know what he was saying. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Anyways, welcome again. Opinions, thoughts, that's fine. Just be respectful. And yeah, so what you're saying, like, is just asking simple questions like that, um, and having normal conversations, even if you think that Ari is innocent. Like I said, this is a channel that doesn't buy into that. But if you are, just again, just ask your questions respectfully, and say your opinions, type of thing. And I have no problem, us discussing those as well. Hi, all. Great news yesterday. Hi, sees through. Absolutely. Right. So, you know, it's not to say that, like, this is about the evidence. That's what it is. I was worried that because of the LEF ups, was there enough for the jury to understand what we know about this case? Because we know so much more, but they got put with whatever evidence was put in front of them by both the defense and the prosecution. So again, they're the ones that everyone was saying how smart they are, what great questions. I'm sorry if the people that thought he was innocent or thought he was going to be a hung jury, didn't go. Like, a lot of people that even said hung jury, it's only because they felt like the evidence wasn't there by the prosecution side. And I still don't really get that. Well, no, let me put it this way. It was there, but would the jury see that exact thing? Or would they believe in this whole, that he confessed so many times because he was in a state of psychosis at the time? No, no, no. Even if he was in a state of psychosis at the time, again, a very logical story. What he told Dr. Walla, it matches exactly to the timeline to what we know. And honestly, Richard Allen, he knows the truth. And that's why he didn't really have an expression at the end, because he tried to tell his wife and his mom. He tried it, because he obviously wanted to release that pressure that had been upon him for all those years. You know, whether he was making, whether he was laughing at the fact that they were coming out with two different BG pictures and stuff like that and thinking that, dang, I think I got away with this in a sense. But it was one of those things. I think sometimes that people, like I said, when they are caught, I feel like for him, it was almost like a little bit of a relief, because he knew it. It was just possibly a matter of time, probably tired of always thinking when he saw a police car that perhaps they're going to find out it was me and blah, 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 blah. And that's why he wanted to confess, but he still wanted his family's love because he's scared, right? Of course. Um, and Alexa thinks, and some people think that he's a psychopath. You know, Others will say that it's an independent disorder. I see kind of, I see. I don't know his history enough to say psychopath, that he was born with it that way, but I definitely see a personality, dependent personality, because anyone that just is like, he really just wanted to get from his wife and his mother, will you still be for me? I'm telling you what I did, but I just need you to be there. And they just didn't want to believe him, right? In a time like Chris Watts's father was just like, just tell them the truth, knowing full well it's just a matter of being truthful with yourself. And I think that honestly, that Richard Allen probably would have done it had the defense not concocted, like ways to try to get out of these confessions. There's no thoughts. It's called knowing because I have gifts. Are you talking about those special medium type gifts? Those type of gifts? The ones where most people have no gift at all? Those ones? Because I'm pretty gifted myself and I can see bullshit when it comes. And if that's your gift of knowing that he's innocent, then I don't think you have a gift at all because the evidence is clear. Stupid dolphin. I'll tell you one thing. I didn't do critical thinking at all because I didn't go around and get all the stuff. They were everything else. It didn't turn corners. They didn't do this. They didn't. Yeah, like honestly, and I don't, like I said, if that's your way of thinking and you believe in what you believe, absolutely perfectly fine, But again, there's there's kind of like what I call like, hopeful thinking versus reality of evidence, right? How does anyone overlook that he put himself on the bridge at that time? Well, how can you explain that? There's only one person on the bridge during that time, and it's Richard Allen who put himself there. So how do you explain that away? How would you take away from that? How would you take away from a white van? How would you take away from a same type of gun with a bullet between the girls? How would you take away of a car that he drives that is seen on the Hoover or Harv store camera footage? Even if you can't make it out, what's the chances? What's the chances that someone claims that they wore the same clothes and put themselves on the bridge during that time? And they said that twice. And then they turn around 5.5 years later because now they can get rid of DNA. They can get rid of whatever they had, you know. Granted, their Ellie didn't do the best job in the world. I'm just grateful that the jury was wise enough, smart enough, understood enough to know that the evidence was there from Richard Allen's own words that he himself was not in a land of delusion, as he was telling his wife and mom and stuff like that about it, and confessing how many times after that. So every time he confessed, all of a sudden he was in psychosis, you know. Yeah, it's a nice, neat package that I don't buy. It's just, a gift is understanding and being wise enough to understand intuition, first of all, but it's evidence that put him there, his own evidence. That's the biggest sucky thing that he did was literally turn himself in, self-report. Yeah. Well, Streamlab, what are you talking about? I'm not doing any links. No, yeah. No, when you don't use your punctuation properly, it will think that you're posting a link. So that's how see. So if you're not, you have to, because you're using punctuation, you have to make sure that it's not deemed as a link, right? So if you put a dot, like end your sentence with a dot and you don't put a space, it's going to think that you're trying to post a link. Just stop, Joyful. It's okay. Miss Dog Lover, like I said, if it gets ridiculous, but people's opinions they might differ from ours, and that's okay, as long as it's just kept in a respectful way. That's all. The worst thing I read, because I don't want to go through this again, right? People can have different opinions. That's okay. It's about when people start attacking other people or calling me a name or something like that. But they can have their opinions because I absolutely believe that everyone's entitled to that, even if I feel like those opinions are wrong, just like they feel like my opinion is wrong. And that's okay because at the end of the day, the evidence spoke. RA is guilty, and stuff like that. So that's just, agreeing to disagree. The worst was I read a comment that they were gutted by the verdict. Only his mother and his wife would be gutted by the verdict. Ridiculous. Well, and the daughter probably in there. But apparently I don't have opinions because people are telling me to stop. No, you do have opinions, but you have to realize that you are in a channel that is not about RA is innocent. You're in a channel that was looking for justice for Abby and Libby. And the reason why RA was arrested was because there was enough probable evidence to say that RA did the crime. That crime has now been proven by the jury that he was guilty. So it's when you come into a channel that is 99% about RA being the BG, then of course people are going to tell you to stop and or not say this or that. It's just to be expected. But I expect the people in the chat to be respectful to each other regardless, because like I said, the facts are the facts. He's found guilty. Okay, they can appeal all day long, all they want. We'll see what happens then. But it's if you come into a channel that's totally opposite of what your thoughts are, you know, it's going to almost seem like an unfair fight, to be honest with you. There's no timeline Rick can give that works for him. Nope. Rick is the BG, right? And that's the downfall of this, of this case in a sense, because there was so much that could have, would have, should have happened with this case. It didn't. We didn't get to know so many things about this case, about Rick, about how he was after the crimes, to know if he missed work, if he was acting different type of things, because this is 5.5 years later when the police come arrest him and his wife is totally clueless, to what the heck is going on. And the memory is going to fade. No one's going to if the wife and family have no idea that Rick is even was considered a suspect, because he wasn't until 2022. They're going to have no reason to keep that memory bank alive in their head. Rick Allen would, right? So he'll remember the details for sure. It's probably sitting there licking his choppers over it, to be honest. But the gig's up, dude. Gig's up. You're guilty, and you're in the right place where you belong. Because the facts, his own facts. Imagine that, though. Most times in trials, digital DNA and stuff like that, and digital cell phone and whatever. But this is the person that literally finked on himself, without realizing it was going to come bite him back. Well, he might have thought it was going to come bite him at some time, but, if he didn't report himself, trust me, this case would go unsolved for as long as DNA could be tested for something different along the way. Honestly, unless he came out and confessed about it, he would have totally gotten away with this crime because of the way that the LE handled the case. Yeah. Hey, Alex.
Hello, how are you? Sorry.
I got your pajamas on?
Yeah, I am sorry. I couldn't take it anymore. Oh my God.
Okay.
So I can't read the chat because I already put my computer down and everything. So, and
okay.
I went to, but I can be here.
Mm-hmm. Just quickly for Joyful Dolphin. So Joyful Dolphin is a person that believes Richard Allen is innocent. And you're saying that the timeline is wrong. Where's the timeline wrong? What fact do you have that shows that the timeline is wrong? Because the evidence shows that the timeline is right, because Rick Allen said the timeline and his vehicle passed at the same time that he said he was there. So where's the timeline wrong?
He did. To her defense, he did. Her defense. He did try changing the timeline.
Oh yeah,
but he, So I guess some people believe that that maybe he was there earlier than where he was.
But there's nothing that supports that. There's stuff that supports the timeline that he gave, the original time. Mm-hmm. He wanted to backtrack. So there's a difference, Joyful, right? When you first are sitting there giving information, and that information comes to fruition, and a Ford Focus crosses that Hoover Store Heart Store at the same time that he says he was there, what are the chances? He's the one that basically said, look, I was there. I was just looking at fish, I'm pretty sure I had on blue jeans, a blue jacket, and I think I had a head covering on as well. Hey, by the way, those 3 girls, they look like sisters. Oh, heaven forbid that they are sisters, out of the 4 of them. So, meaning, if there's no timeline, what backs up his timeline? There's nothing to go the fact that Richard Allen changed the timeline. There's nothing to match up with it though, right? There's
Mhm.
there's evidence to match up with his own timeline from his original confession. So I mean, it only makes sense that he's trying to give an accurate timeline because he thinks that probably somebody's recognized him and can put him there. So he wants to be as truthful as possible, not realizing that there's a video of him by Libby German, right? So he's trying to
Mhm.
be as truthful as possible without knowing that there's that video. And then, so it's kind of one of those things is that when you give off that information and then you have 5.5 years, once you realize that there's a video out of yourself, you have to backtrack, So, and again, so tell me where this timeline, this other timeline of 12:30 to 1:30 or whatever time it was, comes from, or what was it? 12:30 to 2 o'clock or something like that. So where did that timeline come from? Okay. Let's see here. You may have a troll. Um, well, if you, like I said, for everybody, please respect other people's opinions. Unless they get out of hand, um, then I'll gladly see them to the door. But there's no reason that we can't talk about and explain why, for instance, when somebody says that he's innocent, okay, well, we can defend that with why he would be guilty and innocent. So if somebody's going to say he's innocent, what are the facts to support that? Because the evidence has been submitted and there's nothing there to support a different timeline than the original one he gave besides the defense. It is the job of the defense to get their client off regardless. They don't care. It's all about getting their client off. That's their job, is to look at the evidence and twist it in their own perspective. So when you start manipulating the timeline and changing it, like Richard Allen did, again, where's the truth coming from? The start or 5.5 years later? Especially when there's nothing to back it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great night live tonight on Drunk Turkey Show, Alexa.
Oh, thank you.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep,
Pleasure
yep.
being there. Thank you for having me.
Kept our promise, right?
Yeah, I know. It was nice.
Who called you a stupid person? You talking to me? I don't recall calling you a stupid person. And if you are, can't help that.
No, I mean, no, I don't think anybody's stupid for believing their own beliefs. I mean,
I know.
everybody has the right to their own opinion. As long as, we are respectful, we can agree to disagree.
Okay. Well, Joyful's doing a lot of typing for sure. Well, how does everyone go there and look when they're going on the bridge and they walk around everywhere when there are a lot of people? Yeah, there were a lot of people, but there wasn't a lot of people at the time that there's a lot of people that
Happened.
came after. There was quite a few people. But the thing is that Richard Allen was only seen by one people. A lot of people came after the fact, or might have been there before. But the fact is that one person, four girls saw what will be known as the BG. We'll call him Richard Allen because he was convicted, found guilty. Saw Richard Allen, right? He says he was there at 1:30 to 3:30. He says he's seen three girls that looked like that one was younger, that they were babysitting, you know, and it just turns out that they are sisters. How coincidental is that
Mhm.
part, right? Now, he put himself there, said he was in the same clothes. Then Betsy Blair sees him. Even if she describes him differently, there's one person when they see the picture of him on the video, they're like,
Recognizes him.
that's the guy. But
Hmm.
Richard Allen, most importantly, put himself on that bridge.
And he's the only male at
And
that time.
yes.
That's it.
Afterwards, yeah, about 2:30, some of the other ones, Daniel Pearson and all those ones kind of come out. But it just was sometimes there's those open windows where like that's when crimes are committed. During some times, where you think that might be a bunch of other people, but there wasn't. There was two girls walking over the Monon High Bridge. It was an opportunity for him. Who knows what triggered him? I would be curious to know what triggered him, in order to that particular day to go, hey, you know what? I'm going to go see my parents. you know, da 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 da. You're gonna get home. There's something that triggered him. I don't know if it was Valentine's Day. I don't know if it was some anger issues going on. I don't know if he was drinking and and then his little Dewey Dicky got an arousal or something. And he was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go check out the bridge. And you know, to me, he prepped himself for going to that bridge to do something. And if the opportunity came up, he would take it. And the opportunity came up. Two girls walked across the bridge, and that was Abby and Libby. And unfortunately for them, they were his victims.
When did his daughter get married?
Um, that
Because I heard somebody said that she left in 2017, but I don't know how true that is.
I'm not. I can't remember actually, to be honest
Okay.
with you,
I'll go
Alexa.
back and look.
Um, I I can't remember, to be honest. Yeah, I would. Yeah, she's kind of gone. Her comments can. Why are her comments getting deleted? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Mods, do not abuse the power of the wrench on people because you do not like their opinions. So please do not be deleting the comments of somebody that isn't being disrespectful. The person's just giving their thoughts because they think RA is innocent. And that's fine. If you don't like their thoughts, too bad. But do not delete them. It's only when they become disrespectful to the channel. And I don't think I need to say that. You guys know how I feel about being fair to other people. But if they start acting up and being little douchebags and whatever, they'll get the big toe. But I think we have to be respectful to people with other opinions besides our own. It's only fair. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Alexa, do you want to answer this one? So, how do you know all the witnesses that were there and everybody that was there? How do you know they're not involved with anything? Just wondering.
Well, obviously, you can't just lie. I mean, you have to back it up. You know, most of them have.
And I
Well,
missed
I
all
don't
that.
know if they. I mean, they could have ran their mobiles. I mean, I don't know if they did, but I don't think people were going to say, "Hey, I was there," when they weren't there. I mean, this is a crime that really shook Delphi, and I think everybody that was there was trying to help, and they came out. I mean, they could have proven. They had to prove that they were there. Not anybody could have said. And I mean, as long as being involved, I don't think those teenage girls would have been involved in doing that. I mean, one of them wasn't even friends with Kelsey.
Mhm.
So no.
Um, yeah, I don't know about us. He didn't. I don't think. Oh, that was true. Actually, I can't remember. It's been so twisted around about that. If he was in a psych ward, I think he was in rehab. But I want to say it was for alcohol though. On that. Um, Hi, Sunny. Really, the day the jurors can be interviewed? Yeah, I will. So, and that's a day that you guys will all be waiting for when the jurors are allowed to speak
Well,
to the
we don't know
family.
if they want to speak because don't forget that even though they're allowed to speak, they might not want to speak.
Right, of course. They might
So
not want to speak.
I don't know. I don't think they might be able to. I don't think after all the controversy, I don't think they're gonna come out and say
I know
anything.
some people might be a little leery about that.
Mhm.
Some people might be a little bit worried about that.
For their own safety, especially after all those nuts.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Oh, hi, Marcon. That's
Oh,
from
this is.
the turkey show, from the drunk turkey show.
Sorry, I jumped over. Hi, Mary. How are you? Hey, Mark. Life happened, Mark.
Mm,
Let's see.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't call you stupid because I don't think I did. I mean, I might have called people stupid in my time, but
That's not nice. No, we don't do that.
well, no, I think I have before called people stupid.
Yeah, but not because
Like,
they
no,
have a
it
different
was
opinion.
yeah, no, no, I don't feel that your opinion is wrong. What I said was what you're saying about the issue are wrong, not your opinion.
And that's fine. I mean,
Yeah, just try. Hi, TLS. Hi, Crafty. How are you? Sharon Parker. The girls saw him. Had a timestamp picture when they saw him. He saw. He said he saw them. Time they. Time they're covered. To Abby and Libby did not get their justice, and I cry for Alan, and I cry for them. It's sad. Yeah, don't. I mean, obviously, none of us probably in here feel the same way as you on that one. You're probably going to be outnumbered when it comes to that. And hey, but again, you know what? If that's your world and that's what you believe, then so be it. Um, I'm more than happy that he was found guilty. Um,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
mean, in a way, I do agree with you that it's a sad day for both of them because at the end of the day, they're not here. And
Mhm.
regardless whether we got the right guy, I think we did. And obviously, we're happy that he can never do it again. But at the end of the day, the family's lost two girls, and they will never get to see them grow up. They will never have them, graduating school, having kids, blah 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 blah. So it's a sad day in a way.
Yeah, I would never want to ever have somebody found guilty. If I even myself
Mm.
remotely thought that they were innocent based on my own thoughts. Like if
Mhm.
I'm watching a trial and I'm listening to the evidence being presented, and although we had to hear this third party through a bunch of lawyers and other YouTubers that were in there, mostly I would listen to the lawyers and that. But it's one of those things when you're listening to it yourself, right? However one takes it. All I want to do is have the person that committed the crime to pay for justice for what they did to
Mhm.
that crime. Now,
Mhm.
so it's not about thinking to myself, no, you know what, we need to convict RA because he was arrested. No, it was about the evidence that supported it. And so everyone was waiting for this day, this trial. And once that information came out about certain points, because we pretty much knew a lot of things about this trial prior to it coming first, stuff that we've heard throughout all these years, some of it
Mhm.
way off base and other parts factual. But it's always trying to make sense of the truth between it all.
Mhm.
It's not about Richard Allen in a sense that way. It's about what are the facts showing? Are they showing it's Richard Allen? But once the trial came and we got to hear about these confessions about the white van that matched up and lined up with the PCA and everything that was known, it became very clear that in fact it was Richard Allen. And that's the thing is that evidence is there because it literally came out of his mouth. It's like people are trying to defend his confessions, instead of what reality would look like. And the thing is again, no one has, you know, if someone's in balance, and I'm not no freaking mental doctor, health doctor, but when to me, just knowing people in general and watching cues of people, it's kind of like when somebody walks in a room, I instantly know if they're in a bad mood or if they're having a good day. Why? Because I pick up on the vibes around there. So now when I'm watching the trial and I'm listening to somebody talk and say about their confessions that I did it, why would I say I did it if I didn't do it? I'm looking at someone that is going to work all the time, right? It's not like he's in this big therapy class all the time, fixing his psychosis and all that stuff, or having these mental breakdowns. Maybe he was inside of his brain, but to the outside world, he's going to work, he's, with his family, going on trips, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, somehow, this storyline that is quite very clear went to my mom's, went home, got bungled up in my jacket, went down to the bridge. Why would anyone try to take away from the truth and the confessions when he's saying it? Why would someone try to add the twist that after all of that stuff that he said, that you guys are going to be like, nope, he's still innocent, even though he's claiming he did it, because we're going to believe that for some reason that all these things that he did, working a
Mhm.
regular job like everybody else, that somehow now all of that becomes non-existent and people just want to believe those little things that they hear. That's to me is the difference. And that's why when Travis was the other day, right, to me it wasn't about confirmation bias, paying attention to the case. It was about the facts in the case. I was looking only at the facts that the case that they had presented with the PCA and what the facts presented. And the facts showed me that Richard Allen's confessions, along with him placing himself there and every other thing in between that fit in like to the puzzle piece, that wasn't made up. Those were everything that matched what Richard Allen said and what basically happened.
And
So
we didn't get to hear all the confessions. We only got
no,
to see a few of them.
no.
And I mean, in some of them, like in one of them that really caught my eye, that he confessed,
Hi, Patricia.
and he was having, pleasuring himself as he was confessing. So
Maybe.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, once it's all over, maybe that stuff will get released. The videos and the stuff like that. Like maybe it will be released to the
I
public,
hope
like
so.
most trials. Mm.
I think when the gag order is lifted, I think we'll get to see. I mean, some stuff
Mm.
maybe no, but I think a lot of the stuff it's going to be able.
Well, that's just it too. That's fine, but back up your arguments. Exactly. Back up your arguments. You know, tell me one thing that backs up his
So
argument.
can we ask her? I mean, if you don't think he did it, so who do you think he did it? Based on who did it?
Yeah.
Is it somebody that we know, like we already seen, or do you
Well,
think we haven't caught him yet?
you can know it, but the law knows he did it. That's the difference. Mhm. Like, like I was going to say, at the end of the day, if there was evidence support that Richard Allen was, that it wasn't clear that he was the bridge guy and it wasn't enough, I would, I would feel like, okay, you know what? Based on what they're
Didn't do it.
showing, honestly, I wouldn't, I was trying to deem it how I would see it. If I was a juror myself, like, would I consider this, do I feel like they could poke holes on it?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that they looked at that, the jury
Yeah.
looked at that, they looked at the side about the confessions and all that stuff. So it's not about our own personal, well, I know he didn't do it. It's about, those are our own personal thoughts, but then there's the facts to back it up. That's the bottom line of it. So all I was
Mhm.
looking was the facts to back up what we already knew about the Delphi case, and it came in tenfold when it came
Mhm.
to the girls, the storyline, why he crossed the bridge. It all came together like the nice
And
puzzle.
to be honest with you, also, I mean, a lot of the
Back it up
days,
though.
a lot of the days, I felt the defense did a better job, or it was reported that defense had like a better job at presenting things. And that's why I think people were so they were thinking that the jury was going to swing that way, because I think the defense was like, boom, we presented it much better than the
But they
prosecutor.
didn't though. That was the thing.
Well, that's was just I think the perception, or and I think both did their good. I think both had good days. I think some days the prosecutors did really good, and
You
there
know,
were other days that I thought, oh,
the
I don't
news,
like the defense, but I have to be fair and say that they did a good
yeah,
job, and some days they did really good job, and I was like, oh, okay, like
yeah.
I'm getting worried. But at the end of the day, there are these people, 12 people that didn't know about this case, total strangers from different, not even from Delphi, that found the evidence and they thought that he was guilty.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, is it Streamlabs? Well, it could be the typing. If Streamlabs is doing it, it's totally your punctuation. Yeah. So if it's Streamlabs and not mods, well, Streamlabs, just know, mind your manners. Oh, the blurry video. Oh yeah, I understand. Well, you know, my point was going to be, joyful, is that I was willing to open my mind, knowing that first of all that among so many YouTubers, I myself had my own POI, right? And once I realized when Richard Allen was arrested, was the moment I realized, after I kept going back to it, I realized I was wrong, right? And of course, I'm willing to accept my, you know, failures about thinking that it was KD versus whatever. But once that picture came out of Richard Allen, then it wasn't hard to see that damn ass nose of his that droops. It wasn't hard to understand that they have it right. And then it became a matter of, okay, the PC comes out. We hear about the different things, right? Richard Allen reports that he's at the bridge and stuff like that. But meaning, wasn't holding my guns to Richard Allen was guilty because I'm just wishing and hoping. It was because I wanted to see myself the facts that proved that Richard Allen was the BG. And regardless, I mean, it could have been the fact that the prosecution didn't have enough, on Richard Allen because of all the mess ups and stuff. And I would have accepted any ruling that came down because, I would think that everything happens for the reasons. But um, let me put it this way: believing that you're so right um, is sometimes we have to come off our own high horses a bit, because that was like me thinking I was so right about uh, Kagan Dunker, and yet I was so wrong, right? That to my own self, it's like it was such a harsh reality to go, wow, I pride myself in working hard, trying to always do the right thing, and never would I thought that I was that far wrong about the BG or the crime scene, realizing my mistakes in never never using photos and enhancing them, and you get twisted shit out of it. And and so that for sure, number one. Or basically saying that someone, well, I'm still gonna hold to this one. I think there was a big difference between me calling Kagan Dunker the BG, but at the time we didn't know if there was multiple people. So I never accused him of being the murderer of the girls, because I couldn't go that far, because that would be, that would have been wrong for me to attach him as the murderer, knowing we don't know the answer to that, because we thought there was more than one person involved. Thanks to Ellie, thanks to the whole way that this case is going, no one thought it was just, some people did, very little. Most people never would have thought that. So it's just one of those things. You look at the facts. What do the facts tell you? You know, if you literally said to somebody, you know, did you spill the milk in the fridge? And you said, yes, I did. Imagine all these people going, no, you didn't. And you're like, yeah, no, yes, I did. You know? And so that's exactly what was going on here, is that Richard Allen is saying, I did this. I wouldn't say it if I didn't do it. And everyone and all his family members, because they don't want to hear it, they don't want to believe it. They're like, no, you're just saying things. They're messing with your mind in there. You could never do something like this. Yeah, because that's the way they saw Richard Allen. Bills to pay. Oh my goodness, I'm way behind in chat. Thank you, Lacey. Oh sugar. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, sugar, 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 honey buns. Yeah. Oh, sugar. Boom, boom, boom. And so, anyways, I didn't realize how far behind I was. Uh, let's see here, Sunny. I thought it was KD too. You had the best evidence against anyone. You know what? I will stand by that, Mark. I absolutely, without floating no boat, because it's not about floating boats, I absolutely believe that I did have the best logical explanation, because Garrett Kurtz working on Ron Logan's land. He's already, got convicted of murdering two girls. We know that this is a meth gang style. The Paladinos, you had Sheena saying that she was there when the Paladinos, so you had all these mouths talking, right? And so Kagan Dunker, right? This thing that looks like he has a mask on his thing and whatever. It would make sense that Garrett Kurtz, one of his best friends, would be perhaps assisting him or whatever, right? So I do believe that, honestly, my thing was not stretching it into La La Land. Like, I didn't take Daniel Pearson and make my story fit the thing. I was just taking what people were saying. But the BG, it was because to me, it was like, again, if you look at Richard Allen and Keegan Dunker, they look very similar to, like, it's crazy how similar the two look. I'll put the pictures up again one day. But it was taking the people that were talking about Delphi, that were saying that they were there or part of it and stuff like that, and then so that was very reasonable to believe that at the time, but then come to find out everyone had it wrong. Everyone had it wrong. And yeah, was it embarrassing to realize that all your hard work that you spent a couple of years trying to achieve, that you had it wrong, right? But once Richard Allen was on track, and then Alexa coming on, profiling and stuff like that, us trying to figure out why this happened, that was the biggest headache, to be honest, was understanding why this happened. Like, but now we know the answers to that because of Richard Allen's own words. So thank you for saying that, Mark, because I do agree. Like, I wasn't out in freaking Lululand trying to pull shit out of asses to get that information. Those people were speaking. They were talking about the video, of Libby's and stuff like that. Um, you know, Mr. Oliver, you know how it works. You want me to say stuff like that? It's going to cost you. You know that. Come on now. Other than that, no, keep it to yourself. Mm-hmm. Alexa, what did you want to say? Anything so far here?
No. I was just thinking about Miss Dog Lover. I'm like, I can't believe she's still awake.
Miss Dog Lover always says she's leaving and then she's not. Yeah. That's just, again, in some of the channels, Joyful, that expression will weigh plentiful with other channels. It's just in this channel, it's going to seem off the rocker for the most part, because again, it just comes down to the facts of it. So like I said, those comments of yours might be like, praise the Lord, you're so right. But in this channel, you're not going to find that, just because everyone here understands that Richard Allen is guilty. And bless the day. Oh, you know what was funny, to be honest with you? Not funny, but Harvey was up there. Oh, I said thank you to Lacey already. Thanks, honey buns. See, she loves me more than Aspen. If that was Aspen, she would only have donated like 99 cents. I can feel it. I can feel it. So I was coming out of work today, right? And I was, thinking about Libby and Abby, and I was just calling my husband, and I looked down at the time, and it was 2:13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's kind of like yesterday when I was getting ready for the live, I just looked over and I was like, oh, it's 11:11. So it's just little things, it's those little things like that,
Actually, somebody said that, I don't forget, somebody who was inside the court, they said that they were looking at the clock, and as soon as they put Richard Allen's cuffs, they
Yeah.
looked up and it was 2:13. So
Oh.
the time that the girl's the video. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have to find out who said it, but it was somebody who went inside the court.
Yeah. I mean,
And they
sometimes
said
it's just karma working its magic. Miss Dog Lover, I feel like I can say this now. Thank you for the donation towards the husband fund for Christmas. I'm so tired. Mark is amazing. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's an advertisement I'm willing to stand behind. Thank you for that paid endorsement. Mark, you're amazing. Just so you know, all mods are amazing, but Mark, today you're especially amazing. Okay. You're welcome, Miss Dog Lover. Yeah. Thank you. Why do you think people defending Richard Allen so much? What do you think about people even after? Go ahead, Alexa.
Besides hybrostrophilia, I can't think anything else. Go ahead, answer that one.
For me, honestly, why do you think people defending Richard Allen? Why do you think people are? Honestly, people love conspiracies more than the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the channels, like you guys, again, unless you guys are blind and dumb and stupid, right? You guys know as well as I do that conspiracy drama people love. Okay. It's no different than pulling up the Star, the Inquirer, the Daily Trash, whatever, right? We all know that drama sells. And that's exactly why a lot of people do the things they do. And then there's other people that are just totally out to effing lunch, regardless, right? They were deprived of some brain cells along the way in life. Can't help that. But anyway, so people at the end of the day like to believe that there's something more to a story than what there truly is. And there was a lot to this story, but it wasn't twisted and all this, deep fake, let's plant evidence that it's Richard
Yeah.
Allen, and when it's really the Odinist group, and that's just ridiculous.
What I'm not liking, and I'm really angry, is people going behind, attacking the jurors. Because a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, no weeks, few days ago, I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying how Nancy Grace was such a disgrace because she had attacked the jurors, and she had been mean to the Casey Anthony jurors, calling them stupid and blah blah blah. And here we are a few days ago. Everybody
Mhm.
was praising how the jurors were so great and they were so smart and this and that because they thought it was going to go their way. But the minute it went the other way, oh, the jurors are stupid. Oh my God, the jurors
Exactly.
conspiracy. They were
Exactly.
able to, they planted evidence. They were forcing. Not all the, oh, that's a new one. Not all the jurors wanted to say guilty, but they were forced. And they have evidence that they forced all the jurors. Like, come on.
Um, so I thought this was Miss Dog Lover, and I scrolled down, and then guess who it is? It's Support with Steffa. Yeah.
Mm,
Steffa, we're gonna have to do a live soon, girl, and have us all on and talk about it because Steffa knows how much she loves the Delphi case.
yeah.
And let's see, and I support this endorsement as well. We always side eye Kurtz, KD, and the judge. Love you, 69. Most importantly, people, 69, 69, 69. Most importantly, yes, God is always right, and that's exactly why Richard Allen was found guilty, and
Mhm.
why at 11:11, when I saw the girls, when I saw that, I knew the guilty verdict was coming in. You're right. God is always right, and He got it right this time too. Thank you, support Riz Defa. Love you, girl. Again, has been fun. Anyone that wants to support this channel for December's time, I'll ask for a Christmas gift during this month, without sounding too cheeky about that. Just want the husband to have some days off, and he loses about $1,000 by taking 4 days off, which is a lot. But you know what? Money, like I said, if people do want to do a Christmas present, that's what I would ask for. It doesn't mean you have to. I'm just saying, if somebody does go, Sunny, want to do something special for you for Christmas, this is what I'm asking for my husband to be able to have some days off so that he can rest and relax with his wife, while his wife enjoys the 20th, December 20th to the January 4th. So what's crazy about that is that that's the day of Richard Allen's, of course, uh,
Or date.
sentencing day.
Sentencing.
Yeah. And it fall when I go, my last day off is your birthday and my son's birthday, January 4th.
Mhm.
I go back on the 5th. And so I'm trying to get my husband, because Christmas falls in like the Wednesday. So it's kind of like 2 days and 2 days. My husband, you guys, most of you guys, if I could clone my husband, for anyone that doesn't know, just so you know, I just gotta say this. So my husband is Steve Austin, the $6 million man that didn't have $6 million when I met him. He's 21 years younger than I am. He's British, and I met him online gaming. My husband, besides, he was a bit of a dick last year to me a little bit during Christmas time, because this was the problem. He was so stressed out. I was out of a job for about 2.5 years after I basically lost my job because of the 2 year after COVID in optometry. It was
Mhm.
very stressful. I was very stressed because I'm not no spring chicken anymore, right? I'm 55 years old. And the older you get, the less jobs that are available to you, right? Because they want to hire this or that. Anyways, I was applying and stuff like that. And I was trying to bring up the channel and stuff like that. And, it was just very hard, and I was getting very depressed. But by my husband, it put a lot of pressure on him. But I'm so grateful. Like, my husband's like a really great guy, but he was being a bit of a dick last year because I think that the stress was just building up. And so, yeah, so when I was off on Christmas last year for a few days or whatever it was, me and him ended up having this big argument, like a big argument. And it was kind of like, F you, get, then leave then. It was, and then it was because
Mhm.
he was so stressed out by all the pressure of him having to pay for the car payments, the loan payments, everything. And it's hard, but I get it. People get to a point where they're just, money doesn't revolve, make my world revolve. But at the end of the day, you still got bills to pay. And every time he got a paycheck, it just went right to bills, right to bills. So my gift to my husband this year would be, regardless, I want him to take the 4 days off. If it means him losing the money, I don't care. So that's what I'm saying. If people do want to say, Sunny, I'd like to do something for you for Christmas, because I know you guys, there's people out there that do that, right? At Dog Lover, who always is and stuff like that, and Charmaine and everybody, and Lexi. Anyways, thank you all. So I'm just saying, if anybody does, that's my gift to my husband, is for him to enjoy some time off at Christmas time. That's my Christmas wish. Okay, Santa Claus? All right. So, Steffa, thank you so much. That goes to the husband fund. Anything that does, to be honest with you. And I don't like to ever talk about money too much on the channel. You guys know that. But sorry, I'm going to be cheeky, because that's me asking. That's type of thing. But yeah. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that.
I agree. Michelle favors people will make up anything just to keep the shit going. I agree. Especially the YouTubers that specialize on Delphi and like conspiracies. Of course, they're going to keep going and going and going.
Yeah. Permanent fixture, Lacey, probably. Both of you ladies look amazing tonight. Oh, go on. KCL just backed it up. I mean, if KCL was on this live too, and Steffa, oh my God, you guys would just be drooling with bibs. You guys would actually need to buy yourself bibs.
Yeah, even though right now it's Alexa after dark, I think.
KCL. I love her. She's like, what? I would put you in your 20s and 30s at the oldest. Yeah, no, 55, stay alive. Yeah, July 3rd, 1969. That's why I like 69 so much. Yeah, good position too. Just saying. That's why. I'm just saying. It is. It is.
I know, but Botox is working. No.
Yeah, the Botox. I haven't. You know what? I've never ever used Botox. One day I might try it out.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I said, you know what? When I turn 45, I might go and get it next year. But
yeah, it's those freaking 11 lines. Those things. But in saying that, I'm not gonna lie. When people overdo their lips, if there's one thing we'll get back onto Delphi, but if there's one thing I can't stand, it's freaking duck lips. Okay. There's nothing sexy. And Aspen Connor, I'm sorry, buddy, but you do this all the time in your things where you do this and you're just like, I freaking cannot stand that. Okay. But when they get the Botox in, and it even makes it look way worse, or lip shit, like whatever shit they put in there. It just looks ridiculous. I wish people understood that. I mean, they can do what they want to their face and everything, but do you understand how many people are making fun of you and laughing at you when people do shit like that? Just saying, But anyways, I digress. Let's see here. Anybody else? Ben, I'm blushing as I walk through the forest. All right. Steph, are you sure you actually know what trees look like today? Oh, I wanted to play something actually. We'll play a clip. Yeah. I wanted to play, I think I got one here. Yes. Let's just see. Sometimes I just like, to share and see what the other news and that's saying and that. So let's just watch. We'll watch it on faster speed. And then we'll just stop and start as it plays. Okay. Hopefully I don't get
of Richard Allen for the murders of Libby German and Abby Williams in Delphi, Indiana. The verdicts are the beginning of bringing a painful chapter in a small town to a close, so healing can begin. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. The jury in Delphi, Indiana has spoken. After 19 hours of deliberations, the jurors found Richard Allen guilty on all counts in the murders of Libby German and her best friend, Abby Williams. Libby was 14 and Abby just 13 when they were brutally murdered on February 13th, 2017. It was an unseasonably warm day, and the best friends were off school, and they wanted to cross the Monon High Trail. Prosecutor Nick McClelland called it a rite of passage for teens in the area. The girls were off school, and they were doing what kids do, but something went terribly wrong that day, and the girls never came home. The crime was shocking and terrifying. Who would want to hurt these young girls? Investigators would say in October of 2022, after a volunteer clerk found a long misplaced tip sheet with Richard Allen's name on it in a desk, that Allen was the murderer walking among them, hiding in plain sight. But why? Months after Richard Allen's arrest, McClelland said Richard Allen began confessing. Prison warden John Gallipo testified in March of 2023 that Allen wrote that he wanted to confess to the murders. I am ready to officially confess for killing Abby and Libby. I hope I get the opportunity to tell the families I'm sorry. Gallipo testified Allen admitted to throwing a box cutter out in a dumpster at the CVS store where he worked in Delphi. Officer Michael Clemens documented Allen saying, "I'm so glad no one gave up on me after I killed Abby and Libby. And I, Richard Matthew Allen, killed Abby and Libby by myself. No one helped me." Clemens also said Allen would yell to other inmates, "I'm not crazy. I'm only acting like I'm crazy." Cross-examination, Allen's attorney, Brad Rosie, asked Clemens what...
Let's just stop that there. More truth serum. Joyful, come to our side. Seriously. That's more truth serum right there. I was only acting like I was crazy. Only some of the things I said I did, and some other things I didn't. I was acting crazy.
And I think the other things that he said, like, "Oh, I killed somebody else," I think he probably said it just to say it, to look like he was crazy.
Absolutely. That's what I've been saying. He's saying it just to make it look like he's crazy.
Like, "Oh, I killed my grandchildren." Like, dude, you don't have grandchildren. You know.
He's okay. You know darn well that the defense is being like, Rick, in order for us to fucking get this case, type of thing, you need to offset the command. You know that, right? That they're doing that. So he's kind of like cops lying, you know that
and
they
I think also he had a lot, because I think, he knew that the defense team had fought so hard. I mean, they were taken away from the case, and then they fought so hard to be reinstated. And I think that had a lot to do. Like, oh, look at these people are fighting so hard for me. I better do whatever they're saying, or I better, help them out. Because if they would have won, this would have been the case for them to win. That would have been the case.
Sucks to be you, Rosie. I'm Rosie. I can stare at you all day long, dude. Baldwin, not so much. Rosie,
I think Rosie did a good job. I mean,
what
I heard, I mean, there were times that I heard what he said, and they had people that did the breakdown. I think he did a good job.
Yeah, but the thing is that they did with the best with what they were allowed to bring in.
Of course. That was their job to do. What they did.
But if you listen to lawyers, they say that when somebody, like, even when I was listening to Scott Reish on True Crime Talk there, he said when someone confesses, right, that to try to get a confession taken away is so hard to do when somebody confesses.
Yeah, because you can't bring it back. Yeah.
So you had to look like you were going through psychosis.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they did.
Explain that away. Hence why he said, I wasn't really crazy. I was just acting.
And even the wife, "Oh no, what are they doing to you? It's the medications. This is not you talking."
Yeah. And that's sad, to be honest, because honestly, if he's confessing, I would be saying to my husband, like, honestly,
you know what? Just confess, and we'll see what we can do. Maybe take a plea deal.
I'm all about letting it, like, meaning if you did something, you need to own up to it. If you took those two girls' lives, you need to own up to it. If you want to kind of free yourself of some guilt and whatever, however you want, but you need to be truthful. So I think he was wanting to be truthful, and he was being truthful because he knew he was pretty much hooped, I believe. And then, like I said, his wife and that aren't believing him. You got the defense lawyers like, "Hey, you know what? Let's come up with this." What are you meowing for, Bambi? Come on. You already had chicken for dinner. Anyways, so the thing is that people want to take away from his truth serum that he was saying, and take away from that. And I don't get that, because the evidence supports and the crime scene and what he said supports what he was saying without it being off the rocker stuff. It was a very logical explanation how he said it. And that's what and some people are going to accuse doctor, like I said, like the jurors and stuff like that. You know what? Live in your own brains. Do whatever you like. I like to live in the world of the facts and common sense. And
I mean, do we agree that Dr. Walla acted in ways that she shouldn't have?
Absolutely.
Especially, I believe that before she knew, obviously she never knew that she was going to get Richard Allen. I get it. She was interested in the case. I just don't agree that as soon as she became involved with him. Two things. I think I should have went to my boss and said, hey, I have a conflict of interest. I don't think I can do this case. Maybe find
Oh
somebody
no,
else.
because I'll
Or,
tell.
you know
Yeah.
what? Stop researching, stop doing things right then and then.
You know why? She wanted the answers herself.
Yeah, but that wasn't professional.
No,
I get it.
no, that's
But
what I'm
that
saying.
wasn't.
Absolutely not professional. But I'm telling you, her selfish motivation for wanting the answers herself.
Yeah, but that could have compromised the
Well, but,
trial.
right. But the thing is that the things that he said,
Mhm.
so it's kind of one of those things, right? Her code of ethic, she crossed the line. Absolutely. Okay. I can understand why there would be this side eye stink to her for sure. But
Mhm.
because of the things that were said about the van, things that were true, right?
Mhm.
So that makes me not overlook what she did, but makes me look to the truth of what still is true,
No.
regardless of how she acted. But I think in all of it, that Dr. Walla, for her own self-serving things, that she was there to try to get Richard Allen to, do her job, whatever. But she was there because she wanted answers as well. So I'm
Yeah, but
sure that she was prying a lot of those answers. Like, who knows how willing Richard Allen was willing to talk regardless. But I'll tell you, she was sitting there like this was fucking juicy candy coming out, because following the case, and just like anyone else, wondering the motive, why, and all that. Well, she got her answers. She didn't
yeah.
want to remove herself. She wanted to know the answers herself.
Yeah, but I mean that wasn't right. I think, in my opinion, that
No,
wasn't.
it's not that it was right, Alexa. It has nothing to do about being right. She was totally wrong. That's what I'm saying. She
Mhm.
was self-serving for the
Yeah.
purpose of helping Richard Allen. She should have never been able to at all do some mental health issues or
With
whatever
him,
she
yep.
did.
Yep. Yep.
See him. Absolutely not. She should have
Mhm.
removed herself, but she was so invested in this case and getting that freaking cherry on top to be able to
Yeah.
actually, be his, whatever you want to call it, psychologist, psychiatrist, what psychologist is it?
Psychologist.
Yeah, psychologist. This was like I said, her selfish serving rights over her own ethics.
Yeah.
Um,
Because
you
I
know,
mean, and I see it when people say this to me is, okay, she knew about the case. So when she was talking to him, she already had a bias. She probably thought either guilty or not guilty. So she probably already had preconceived notions about him that she shouldn't have.
probably, absolutely. I mean, I get it when some people think that, even if they're crossing the ethical border, that they're still being fair and stuff like that. I mean, I I just think that when push came to shove with her, um, is that while helping Richard Allen, it was fulfilling her desire for the answers of the Delphi case as well. And she was having her cake and eat it too.
Mhm.
But I think, yes, very unprofessional. But I think that Richard Allen was there to still tell the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah, I don't think she lied. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think she lied. I don't think she exaggerated.
Right.
I don't think she planted evidence. I don't think she planted any information in his head. No, I don't think that. But
Santa's
I
real.
do believe that
Yeah.
from the other side, it looks bad. And this is a door that we leave open for that people can say. And I do agree in a way that she did have preconceived notions about him
Mm.
when she was already treating him, because she knew a lot about him.
And she
So,
well, I mean, like, she even went as far again as posting shit on Facebook and even telling Richard Allen about some
yeah,
of the
like,
stuff that was
why are
out
you
there.
saying that? That
But
like they had a fan club, and I
well, you
mean,
know
no,
what? That almost reminds me of when somebody is doing what do I call that again?
like double psychology.
Yeah,
I
well,
think.
but what's the word for that, Alexa? Um, when they're uh what's that word? Come on now, I know this word all the time. But yes, but anyways, like, we'll say double psychology in a sense. Reverse psychology, that's what
Reverse
I'm looking
psychology.
for. Right, is that she's telling him probably some of this stuff because he's
To
going to be
see
like
his reaction.
that, yeah, to get his reaction, or to say that that's not true, and
Mhm.
da-da-da. So, yeah, unethical, to me beyond belief. But does that take away from what Richard Allen was willing to tell her? Because obviously, at some point, he probably didn't know up and because now he probably doesn't know how far deep she was watching the case.
Mm-hmm.
As much as she was like, what they're saying about you, Richard, online. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay, that's not true. Okay, so I wouldn't doubt it if Dr. Walla comes out and writes a book about Richard Allen. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, she lost her job anyway, so
Yeah. I even heard that they might look
come out.
into this case. I don't know if it's true that they might look into her more after this. I don't know.
Anybody else think a book's going to come out from Dr. Walla? Of course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's money
that
to be
even the
made.
guard's probably gonna write books.
See, but that's looking to stretch it, Joyful. That's the difference. We're not trying to stretch the truth. The truth is already
No.
there. Meaning,
No.
but it's almost like this would have happened. This had to have happened. Everything, that's where it's so far removed. So the truth is right in front of people, but yet people want to, again, twist it and turn it to their own narratives instead of just using the facts of the case. I have my own opinions, but my whole point in this channel is about putting out the facts. And if we're wrong about the facts, then we'll say so. But it's always about the facts of a case first. And anything else is just speculation. Love you. Oh my God. And yeah, I love you too, Pumpkin. More dating stuff going on here. Jane Justice agreed. Jane, yes, I can hardly stand any channel who wants to proclaim RA is innocent. Yeah, I have no time of the day for it myself.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to feed into it because again, if they want to go on, go ahead, Alexa.
No, I'm saying I saw a channel today. I wish I wouldn't have seen it. I mean, Jesus Lord. Oh Lord. Like all the conspiracy things, all the things I heard, I was like, where are people coming from? Like, why? I mean, now I was reading, somebody was telling me that they're going to do like a fund for, for Richard Allen, for the, what do you call it? For the appeals and everything.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Lana Turner's right there from Truth and Transparency, just like with Chris Watts, raising money to support.
But again, that's concerning to me. Like when they're such saying that they have pictures of the jury or they follow the jury, whoever it was, that's not right.
I know. Well, that's again, get their brains in check. Like it's just again, there's there's crossing the line, and those people cross the line with stupidity. Sitting there braggadocious. It's kind of like no different than Chris Todd. He was just so willing to want to tell us about those pictures he got from David Erskine, which was Abby's uncle. And David Erskine sold the information to Chris Todd, along with pictures and information of what he had. Unfortunately, they're all dumbasses,
But at the end, he wasn't the first one to find him.
He wasn't.
To find the girls.
He tried to claim
he
that
lied.
He was, yeah, he lied. David Erskine, what? Go suck an egg too. Abby's uncle. Sorry, you shouldn't even have been Abby's uncle. You did her so much misjustice, selling paperwork and pictures. Because hey, I mean, if you're going to sell it, what was it saying? Because he doesn't realize that I have all of the text messages that he sent between him and somebody else. So he has no clue. And so if he hears this one day, he has no clue that I have all those text messages about with him messaging.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. And where he literally said like, I sold it to some reporter guy, basically, I guess might as well make a buck off of it type of thing. He moved away because him speaking. But now we know a lot of what he said was a bunch of bullshit as well. He's just a big mouth loser uncle to Abby, to be honest, is how I deem him now. Just a big mouth that sold information, to his dead niece, to Chris Todd. You pathetic piece of shit yourself.
But Chris Todd, I think, thought that didn't he think that I don't know, that Ron Logan was the one who killed the girls, right?
Chris Todd came out with the book Forest of Trees, saying it's Ron Logan. I mean, I mean, Jennifer Coffindaffer kept thinking it was Ron Logan the whole time too.
Mm.
Anyways, Chris Todd lives in his world of La La Land. He's so far removed from his ass. Honestly, he thinks he solved John Bonet, O.J. Simpson. He came out with that book that they took down from Amazon. And he's just a motor mouth. He's so arrogant. Actually, he believes that whatever he says, that if you're not in his same lane, then you're stupid and you're a loony bird. Okay. He makes a fool of himself all the time. Actually, I find it quite comical because he was trying to show the pictures on court TV and Vinny wanted nothing to do with it. And Chris Todd gets pissy whenever he gets defensive. Chris Todd will get all defensive anyways. Losers. That's all you losers. All right. Take your little bullshit, and hopefully karma deals you guys blows ass by ass by ass all the way. It's just bullshit. People just want to believe their own shit. But okay, Chris Todd, you solved this case, that case, this case, that case, the whole P. Diddy ex-girlfriend stuff. Like I said, Amazon pulled it because the family said it's not true. So Amazon, like how he even made it to Amazon is beyond me. But anyways, I digress about that. Mm-hmm. I wish people would look up Truth and Transparency court case against her. She is a dangerous YouTuber. She's not right. Okay, she's just not right. Like she's not right. But in her world, she's right. I mean, just the other day, she was saying that Kelsey got out of her car at 135, hence why the change in timeline from 135 to 149, that Kelsey got out of the car, walked down to the bridge. Like, honestly, you could probably drop a freaking 2-ton rock on the head and still won't change that thinking. Somebody that's not worth talking about, to be honest with you, that's Lana from Truth and Transparency. I used to watch her during the Kohlberger stuff. I honestly, and she might not. I don't even know if she even knows this channel. Who cares? I just can't stand her. I can't stand listening to her. She's just too wackadoodle, too far out there. And then once I realized that, I was just like, I hadn't watched her after that. When I realized she was just riding the Kohlberger case for everything.
Who mentioned Adam? Chris Todd?
What?
Somebody read the one
doing
before.
The Kurt Cobain case now. Oh, is that what he's working on? Kurt Cobain? I suppose he's going to solve Kurt Cobain's overdose and somehow it's going to
Actually, it wasn't an overdose, but anyways.
What was it?
They believe that it's supposedly suicide, but believe that he was unalived.
Yeah,
because he was left-handed and the wound was in the right hand.
Oh, one of those like Princess Diana stories where it's like it just gets twisted and turned around. But I'm pretty sure Chris Todd is going to claim he solved that one too. Justice Jane, that is awful. Yet they come into the live streams where people believe RA is guilty and want to spew all the craziness in there. Yeah, like honestly, you guys, I can't stress this enough. Cannot stand drama of the channels. I've literally watched 0 channels that had anything to do with RA is innocent. We love RA, free. I could care less. Let them live their lives. Let them live in that world of themselves, right? At the end of the day, we only have control over our own thoughts and our own actions. So those people bear no interest to me whatsoever. I don't play these games of, oh, let me kiss YouTubers' asses just so I can socialize and become bigger and stuff like that. I will socialize with people and I'm very leery, you guys. I very much protect myself a lot from not socializing too much with other YouTubers unless I deem that you're a really good, decent person. Because honestly, I don't want drama. I don't need the bullshit and none of this. Like people, when you go into some people's chats, they're like, you're not allowed to bring up other people's channels. Well, if it's done in a respectful way, why not? But anyways, sometimes like those type of things, it's like all these rules and stuff like that. Like somehow, like, whatever, do what you want with your channel. I typically shy away from dealing with YouTubers too much just because I don't want to become part of any drama crap going on. I mean, there's enough drama shit here going on with Aspen Connor in the channel.
I I have to admit, I was like, I want to go to those people and be like in your face, like I want
Well,
to see what they said, and I went and I regret it because I was like, how are they? Like people were crying. I was like, are you serious? But the thing I don't understand is how can they think this person is not guilty, and then say they care about the girls? I'm like, where is the logic? Where is I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
But I did go to some channels and I just want to be like, ha,
Well,
in your face.
I was
But
gonna say I haven't seen Travis ever
I
since the bird.
know.
I haven't seen
Oh,
you, Travis. Where are you? Travis. Travis. He didn't like what I was saying about the guilty and why I believed. And then honestly, it was like pie in his face the next day when the verdict came out as guilty.
because they
Oh
thought
no.
it was gonna be
Yeah,
non-guilty.
yeah. It's when people it's when and no offense but he was definitely a defense bias for
Well,
sure.
he's a defense lawyer,
Of
right? So
course,
I
right?
understand that.
But I don't like it. Like, when someone's saying a confirmation bias. But anyways, bottom line was he tried to shut me down because of my opinion about why I felt like there was. I can hear the cat. The cat's trying to get in the
I
closet.
think he was more law-based, and I think he was
Yes,
more
he's
like,
more right. But
yeah, I think that's what.
he cut me off right away and acted like I was a loony bird for saying what I was saying. And I was just like, next day, sorry, Travis, but it felt good when the jury came back with a guilty verdict because there was enough there for them to see it. And no, Aspen will not be coming back to the channel. I will not have Aspen back to the channel. He made his bed. He can try to be his celeb self and stuff like that, whatever, and hang out with the people and ditch his true friends that were with him the whole time. No, I don't support betrayal like that. Aspen Connor betrayed this channel. And at the end of the day, again, I move on very quickly, right? Like I get it. Like I might hurt inside because of the long-term friendship but just to have seen how he's been acting and stuff like that during it all, and he didn't even have like the decency to message. No, okay. um Mm-mm. You know what? Sorry, buddy, but you are not a true cancer. A true cancer is transparent and they're truthful, right? I don't sit there and talk to people that I don't like. And that's exactly the stuff that he's been doing and stuff. But, anyways, I don't care what he does with his channel and everything from now on. He made his bed, he can lie in it. If he grows to be 20, 30, 50, 100,000 subscribers more than me because he had to, do things and kiss people's asses to get there and use people along the way, like, instead of being true to who he is, I'll stay true to myself and be happy with who I am as a person. I'm not going to sit there and kiss Gray Hughes' ass, Marv's ass, Greeno's ass, all these people that he would never talk to, typically. But all of a sudden now it's like, oh, let's just take pictures. Let me go on Gray Hughes and stuff like that. No, fuck that shit. I don't play that. But anyway, so I don't care if he grows a lot more. All the success and power to him that comes his way that he wants, and if karma comes and bites you in the ass for that, but I'll just gotta stay true to who I am and my friendships. And Alexa, Charmaine, and there's a lot of good people that are very loyal to me, and I appreciate that because loyalty means everything to me when it comes that right. And so I want to say I appreciate that from you guys. Everyone that is true. Some people are flip floppers. Like when I seen and I'm kind of just venting here. When I seen what's her face, well, Shelly, I just don't care about. What's her name? Mustang. Okay, Mustang. I got rid of Mustang because this one day Mustang was always very good. Me and her were very close, talking on whatever. But when Ivy and Charmaine, she said that they were ruining the channel, that I had changed, and that Charmaine and Ivy were basically ruining the channel. And I didn't even see that coming out of her. And so all of a sudden it got very ugly in a sense, very fast, because it was one of those things. It's like, so now I'm being told that Ivy and Charmaine, that having them on, no, that was her own feelings that felt that she didn't like having Ivy or Charmaine on, that somehow I was changing and whatever. And I don't even think about that stuff. I think about loyalty though, right? And so yeah, so there was a little spot there where me and
But
Alexa
I
had.
think, I mean, with Mustang, I mean, I think that's the way she felt.
Yes,
You know,
Right.
So, and I think that sometimes, that's valid to see how people think, it might not be, or it may be, or may not, but I think that's how she felt.
Well, no, it was how she felt. And the thing is, I didn't see it coming, but it was about the fact of, like, there was more to it than that, but I can't quite remember it, because it was okay that Mustang felt that way, but it was the fact of literally saying that, like, basically that the channel is different and this and that. And I just, it was one of those things that, um, it was her issues. Nobody else was ever saying that they didn't like having Ivy or Charmaine on, and these were her own issues, But it was almost like this attitude started coming out. Oh, and then what sealed the deal there was when she came into the live and said, "You need to do an apology to Alexa," or "When are you going to do the
To
apology?"
defend me, yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like when Jinx came in. Jinx, hey, you don't know me in Aspen. But hey, if you want to pretend like you want to say something about, that how Aspen tired he is, but then all of a sudden she added something irrelevant to everything and said something like something about clicks and views and AWDUI. I don't know what that even meant, to be honest. I'm sure if she
Oh,
refreshed me, I'd know. Jinx.
oh,
And that.
I'm not.
But it was the fact that after I was kind of shocked, but it was the fact that she came into the live just to purposely be a bitch and say, "When are you going to do an apology to Alexa?" And that just set me off, because I thought, you little bitch, you're literally going to come into the live and say something ignorant like that. Right. And I just thought it was, when she said that, I was like, you know what, I'm done.
I mean, I have a little different perspective than you for that, because I do talk to her. And
Yeah.
I think in a way I think she felt that, and I appreciate it, but I always said, I don't like people fighting my fights.
There he is.
And I think she felt that I wasn't being appreciated. And the thing is, that was something that I was going to come in and say, hey, where are my 100 pesos? You know what I mean? And I was going to do, I appreciate her standing up for me, but I think coming into the life, maybe, and I spoke to her, maybe, she jeopardized, but it's one of those things that is hard. I see her point and I see your point. Maybe she should have done it privately and been like, hey, Sonny, like, where's Alexa's thing?
And no,
But she's a good person, I have
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, no, sorry, can't feel the same way, and I won't. When someone betrays me, you're just out of my life, and I do not care anymore. Because me and her always talked, and we're very close in Messenger, and always spoke, right? So yes, I was caught off guard by what she said, but it was kind of the attitude that came with that. Now it is what it is, Alexa. I'm not saying, because okay.
I
Besides,
feel bad because I feel like that whole thing was my fault. And,
well, no, it
and to
was her
defend me.
fault for sticking her nose in something about you by coming and saying that. Like, she was doing it to be snippy, right? Like, she was doing it to come in there and be like a bitch. And it was probably because I blocked her, and I was just like, yeah, I'm over it. Because the minute someone starts giving me attitude, I'm just like, okay, so much for being a friend. Anyways,
Mhm.
I'm gonna, you know what? Mustang has been around in a lot of channels. Anyone that sees her name knows her. Um, I take it to heart myself. I am a friend. If I am your friend, I am your friend. Right. So I hold that standard very high about friendships. And the minute I feel like that friendship has, been either attacked or whatever, or that someone's sitting there saying that I've changed and that the channel is going in the bad direction type of thing or whatever, I take offense to that, because where is that coming from? It's not coming from all the other people, but it, like I said, we won't, let's not get into that anymore, because it was just, there was a lot of miscommunication there between you and I, and this whole little thing, because of that particular incident, and like I said, I was hurt for sure. When people betray me, I definitely get hurt. Aspen Connor, he betrayed this channel. His name is Adam Real, so I'm hurt. And when I'm hurt and you take that, I usually don't give a person a second chance, because if that's how you felt, it's kind of like taking back an ex-husband. Ain't going to happen in my entire life ever. Because if you didn't want me the first time, you're certainly not going to get me the second time. And if you couldn't respect our friendship the first time, I'm not going to give you a second chance. It's the way I work. It's the way I am, because I'm very, very loyal to my friends. And I would stick up for people through thick and thin if I felt like someone was attacking them, and stuff like that, unfairly and unjust. So, whereas not everyone does that stuff,
It
like
makes
some
me
people.
sad because it's been so many years. Like like we were
That's
like a little family here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
little by little, it's been breaking up and breaking up and breaking up, and it's so sad to see people go. Like I'm sad, to see Adam go because in a way I am, because I think he brought a lot to the thing, but it is what it is, and I always respect your opinion. Like I said to him, I respect his opinion too,
Yeah.
and it is what
You
it
know what?
is.
Yeah, you know what? Sorry, but I did not expect, I don't think any of us expected Adam to act like this. Um, you know, and to me, it was the ultimate betrayal for a case that we had been waiting for. And he just went AWOL, and he barely messaged, he barely said anything. So, you know what? If you have it in you to fuck your friend over and to fuck the channel, it wasn't about the clicks and views. It was about, we waited for this trial to come. And then when push come to shove, where was Adam? Everybody else is reporting. And where's my friend Adam, who's not saying shit? He's too busy schmoozing with Susan Hendricks and all these other people, ass kissing, being a freaking fake, acting like he likes some of these people when he knows he doesn't, and stuff like that. And to me, I just don't, you know what? Call a spade a spade. All right. I could never do that myself. I could never sit there and have a nice conversation with Marv if I can't stand to talk to her. There's no way I'm just going to be like, no, thanks, Marv, because I can't go back on my own morals about that stuff. Some people can. It's not my way, but Adam abandoned me, our friendship, other people, and stuff like that. People can see that he's changed and whatever. But still, at the end of the day, best of luck to him, whatever he does. And moving forward, I don't care how many subscribers he gets more. It's all about staying true to
Yeah, I
yourself.
mean, you're not gonna bash him just because you tell you how you feel, and that's it.
Yeah, and I get that I'm speaking out of anger somewhat still,
Yeah,
but the thing is, I really truly do get over things fast, because sometimes when you're hurt many times in life, it just bounces off of you, and honestly, because it's like it sticks in there, like, but you have to kind of put that wall up, because so many times in life you get hurt or betrayed and stuff like that, and it happens to a lot of people, but I have to put up a wall to block that hurt, because I can't, like, to move on. It would be silly of me to sit there and dwell over it and stuff like that. It is what it is, you know. Um, Everything happens for reasons and stuff like that.
yeah,
To me, his true colors all of a sudden came out on this, when he might not feel that way whatsoever. But to me, he absolutely betrayed me and the
yeah,
channel. And that friendship I do not need. If that's the way that someone wants to treat me, and you're part of this channel, and we've been working towards this case the entire time, waiting for that moment, and then your ass is AWOL, have a cup of go fuck yourself, is what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
I did notice that this, and I mean, it has nothing to do with Adam, but I did notice that this trial brought a lot of colors
A
out for people
lot of
that I
colors.
didn't expect. Like I got a couple emails saying, talking about other YouTube creators that they were so excited to meet, and when they met them, they were like jerks. And people
Yeah,
were like, I can't believe I had such a bad experience.
exactly. With friends like that, who needs
So
enemies? Yep, 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 yep. You know, I just, like I said, I kind of live in my bubble of a world. I have very few friends, but the ones that I do have are very near, like, are very close to my heart, because I take friendship in. But you're right. There's like for instance, like I said, I didn't expect this from Aspen at all. I literally did not. You know, um, he obviously has a secret agenda going on and stuff like that. But he doesn't. And Aspen, he doesn't like conflict. So he'll basically not tell you. And his way of not telling you is by avoiding and stuff like that. So for instance, if he tells me that, like, hey, I was talking with this person and Marv and
I'll be
whatever,
right back.
like, he would feel, yeah, he would feel like he wouldn't want to tell me that, because he knows he knows what we say behind the closed doors, about these people because they're not our friends, But this has brought out this case, yeah, a lot of ugliness, and I'm so glad that Alexa didn't go down. I'm so glad that I wasn't there to be part of it because honestly, again, it's just ridiculous to me, where you know where people just throw their morals or everything to the side. Some people don't have any morals. And then sometimes people get all of a sudden, a little bit of limelight comes their way, you know. Anyways, we'll digress on that shit, you know. But yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's still gonna sting a bit, but I'm always willing just to move on myself. Am I being too harsh, you guys? I mean, you guys do you know, like, in all fairness, do you guys think I'm being too harsh? I know I judge quickly because I've always intuitively known who my friends are in a sense. And when I feel like I've been backstabbed, I will get rid of you in a heartbeat. Because if you didn't care enough about me, then that means that I'm not going to care enough about you anymore. So if I deem that, then that means, why do I need you in my life? You know? Because I just want people around me that don't backstab me and are just honest and being truthful. But do you guys think I'm being too harsh? Like, am I being? I know I'm, like, probably, the anger is still coming out because I still can't believe my own friend betrayed me like that. Yeah, I know it's my channel, but I always like to be third party reflective of myself as well. I always like to look at me, the situation, and then bring myself outside of it. Sometimes I overreact maybe too far, too much, but I can't stand lies and betrayal in friendships. It's my biggest thing, you know. I'm waiting for some simple, you know what? Absolutely. I looked at the totality of it. Um, I did. I was literally thinking about, okay, look at, I'm not getting any updates. He's barely saying anything. And I'm not just talking about me, to others as well. It's kind of like his group just went to the wayside, and everyone that was there. Maybe I wouldn't know the proper truth because, honestly, oh, Alexa, I wouldn't know the proper truth because only Aspen knows the true truth about why he's doing the things he's doing and stuff like that. But I'm just going by everything that he has not done, and what he didn't do is give any updates about the case until 3 days later when I'm like, "Are you alive?" I'm messaging him on his phone. He was supposed to meet up for somebody for lunch. And then it was kind of like, fine, well, if you're not going to answer me, then da 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 da. And then he finally meets up with that person. But it's almost like it takes that before he answers. Why did it have to take that? Again, if you're such a loyal friend, why is everybody else doing lives? Tom Webster's doing lives, but when Aspen gets in his, like, mode again, he's not true to himself. He's not. He likes people to like him. He wants acceptance from people. I don't need those validations myself, and I don't want to say wrong, but there she is.
I got booted and I was in the restroom. I didn't see. Sorry.
Like, people like me and Alexa and others in here in chat, we don't need validations from people to make us better. We like ourselves for who we are, and I don't need to like people I don't need to like. Um, anyways, hey Travis, Travis, he was sitting in chat and his ears were burning. Yeah, on there. Yeah, guilty. You're speaking the truth on this one. So, Travis, did they get it right? Did the jury get it right? I think so. I think that they fairly overlooked the evidence and they got it right. And I'm so glad that Richard Allen was found guilty, that Delphi could feel a sense of relief, that the parents that were worried about their own kids, if something like this could happen again and stuff like, I'm glad. I think they got it right.
But I would like to see it from the perspective of somebody like Travis. Like, he's law like, he's a lawyer, he's a defense lawyer. So I'd
Okay.
like to see from his point of view, like, what would he say? I think he probably say that they didn't have enough evidence. And
Well, that's what he was saying the other day. Well, that the defense blew a lot of holes in his stuff and they did a really strong job. But
Mhm.
my point is that at the end of the day, right, the evidence was there. It was a matter if the jury seen it. Like if they believed it. It would be up to the jury to decide, is Richard Allen being truthful in his confessions and according to the rest of the evidence? I didn't care if we didn't see everything that the jury saw. It was what was put out there. That was enough to me.
Convince them.
Right. I mean, the thing is that honestly, like the channels pretty much described it all. But
Mhm.
it was that in my head, it was there too much damage done by the things the LE didn't do that would cause him? So my only hope and a prayer to me, because we will find out one day perhaps why the jury chose what their reasons were. Hopefully we'll see that. But
Yeah,
my
I
thing was,
honestly don't think the jury will come out and
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
But I would like to. I mean, I'm nosy. I would like to see where did they come to that conclusion?
One second, I gotta
What
let the kitty out. Yeah, go ahead. Talk for me for a second, would you?
what made them, what made them realize, where was the point that they said, aha. And I love when like people were saying that, some of the jurors were like shaking their head, or they were like so involved, and people were like trying to read the body language, and obviously their body language was just completely wrong. I thought that was so funny. But it is what it is. I think at the end of the day, you have to respect what the jury thinks. And to say that the jurors were coerced or they were forced into a verdict, I think that's very unfair, because I think if the tables would have been reversed and we wouldn't gotten a guilty verdict, I don't think we would be going on live saying that we thought that the jury was forced. We would have been like, you know what? Unfortunately, the evidence wasn't there. And that sucks. At least fault, it sucked, you know. But I don't think we would be bashing the jurors as other people are bashing the jurors. And I think that's where I draw a line, and that's not fair to the jurors and to the jury to do that. So that really bothers me. Because, like I said, a few weeks ago, a few days, not even weeks, a few days ago, everybody was saying, raving, what a great jury. They're so smart. They're writing notes. They're asking good questions, because everybody thought that they were going to get a non-guilty. And now that they got obviously the guilty, and now everybody's saying, oh, they're so stupid. Oh my God. The four men, why was juror 11 chosen to be the one? Blah, 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 blah. So I think in that sense, I don't find that fair. I think we have to respect, their opinion, and not harass them. And now people even saying, I mean, I don't know how true that is, because I haven't heard this from whoever put it out there, but I heard people were saying that some people took pictures of the jury. I mean, that's crossing lines. That's doing illegal stuff. Like,
Yeah.
talk about, you're saying that you don't like conspiracies and you like everything done by the book, but you're taking pictures of the jury. That's illegal. So that's really bothered me. Because, I mean, tell me the truth.
I have.
I think if we would have gotten a non-guilty verdict, I don't think we would be here bashing the jurors. I think we would have been like, you know what? Nick McClellan sucked and there was not enough evidence. We get it. But I don't think we would be bashing the jury. I think. Or at least in my I don't think I would be doing that.
Yeah.
Sorry for my little rant, but
No.
I'm really upset.
Yeah, I get it, right? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, oh yeah, awesome, amazing, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like I said, and then all these people crossing the
They're
line,
idiots.
yeah, holding up signs, we love Ricky and stuff like that. Why don't we say we love Ricky's Dicky, type of thing. Might as well have. But anyways, yeah. And then all of a sudden now it becomes, oh, that, the jurors, this and that, now I'm bashing them and stuff like that. it's just stupidity at its finest, honestly. But it's just one of those things. Again, let them live in their world, and I'll live in the world of what the juries did was come up with a verdict of guilty for Richard Allen. And to me, because they were smart enough to understand that Richard Allen's confessions was truthful, and that all the other attachments to him being on the trail at the time, they all made sense. It was all chronologically in order, even for the stuff that we knew prior to Richard Allen. We still knew a lot about the case in that way. So when the information came out, it was only like adding the puzzle pieces into it and going, thank you for completing the picture to the best of our, what's
knowledge.
yeah. And so the jury, right? Again, more people that did a crime. There's very few in the system that actually didn't do the crime versus a percentage of people that actually did the crime, to me. So there's innocent people in prison and stuff like that. We can preach on that stuff all day long. Is there injustices? Absolutely, and stuff like that. But this isn't one of those things. This is one of those things that by his own words and admissions, it's just a matter of, was the jury going to buy the defense's side in a sense because of that evidence and feel like there wasn't enough to support like the hung jury thing was very reasonable to think that was very possible. I don't still feel like about the whole innocent thing myself. Because I don't feel like all of them would have felt that way, but a hung jury was a very reasonable thought. But again, it's really, at the end of the day, it becomes his own admissions. And his own admissions were in a very logical, understanding timeline that fit with exactly what was about the crime, that had happened. So for people to keep taking away from those confessions, hey, if you want to, enjoy it. It doesn't matter to me. Honestly, if channels want to keep preaching how innocent Richard Allen is, hey, go ahead, fill your heart's, a delight type of thing. All I know is I am personally happy with the decision. They got it right. And that's what matters to me, is I feel they got it right. And however somebody else thinks about it, totally up to you. At the end of the day, I'm happy with the decision. I'm glad the jury found them guilty. And again, I was willing to stand by whichever decision came out. But this was the verdict I was wanting. I was wanting it because of the truth of it, not because it was trying to pin it on RA. It was because it was truthful. And to me, he was, what we said about the like what we just listened to, that no, I wasn't crazy. I was just acting crazy. Why is everyone trying to take away from all of those things and take away from the timeline? That was like the person in here earlier.
And I mean, it's going to be interesting if we ever get to see the videos of him acting, like what did the jury see? I guess they didn't believe him. Or they maybe believe that, like we said, it could be that you can have psychosis, but also tell the truth. Could be. So
what was that about juror 11, by the way? You were saying juror 11 was a dark horse?
Oh yes, a lot of people were saying that, like, he seemed like he was agreeing with the defense. Like they couldn't, people trying to, and it's so fascinating because I loved it. People are like trying to read body language, and they said that he was like always like nodding like, when the prosecution was talking, and almost like not believing it. And he ended up being chosen as the foreman.
Oh, okay. Was he there? Okay. Oh. Number. You know what? What's your name? Pat Brown put out a video. Honestly, I could only listen to 5 minutes of it before I wanted to puke. And again, it's just the stupidity sometimes, even of sometimes her thoughts. Usually she can have pretty good thoughts, but honestly, she's like, basically, she thinks that 12 experts should be on the jury instead of 12 people off the thing. But her argument kind of is that, so if 4 people think he's so, like, I think she was using an example from another case or whatever, but if 8 people think that he's guilty and 4 people don't. And then, and all of a sudden it becomes that 12 say he's guilty. Well, what happened basically to their own thoughts when they're saying it? So basically that they were being swayed into something that they didn't really feel about it, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, that same shit's going to happen regardless, whether you have 12
Yeah.
experts or not. You're not going to have everyone see everything the same way. So what makes, meaning, I understand about using experts for juries, and I think that is a good idea. Absolutely. But the thing is that those 12 people can do the exact same thing. 8 for one side, 4, and it's going to take them all, working together to look at the thing, the evidence, and, and type of thing. Like, let me put it this way. I am not going to side. If I was on a jury member, I would never side for the sake of siding, because I'm that 12th member that would be, conviction or something like that. I could
But
never.
maybe there might be some people that are like
no,
that,
there
and they
are.
might
No,
do
there
it,
are.
but we don't know if
Yeah.
this is the case. We don't know anything.
No. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just couldn't handle listening to what she was trying to dish out. I
So,
only watched about 5
I mean,
minutes.
with the experts, I do understand. I agree in a way, because I think
Yeah.
experts would know more, and they wouldn't be as traumatized as this jury that had to see things that they have never seen. That's not their field. So in a way, I do understand. But also experts, they would bring their own bias, right? Because then you would have somebody like me that, that I would see things, and I would, from the beginning, I would be like, he's guilty. So, I don't think I could, that's why I think I was called for jury duty twice, and they kicked me out so fast. They were like, as soon as I said what I did, I was out the door. They're like, no, thank you. We don't need you.
So basically, I guess what's going to happen now is that the defense, is going to basically bring forth the stuff that they said that the judge wouldn't allow in the case, on a appeal basis, that, all the stuff that wasn't allowed in,
The
and,
Odinism.
yeah, and so, all that, right? And that's why she said, that they could bring it in if through an appeal or whatever like that. But so yeah, so basically all the things that they feel like Judge Gull suppressed for the defense, and anything
The
for
thing is, I don't even know why we're talking about appeals. I mean, this guy hasn't not even been sentenced, and we're already talking about appeals. I mean, we know it's coming.
well, that's
But
just
you know
it.
how long is it going to take? That's going to take years.
Yeah, absolutely, right. So
That's not going to be tomorrow.
I feel like that family, like, this is my own opinion, but I feel like the family is absolutely ecstatic about the verdict, that they are finally feel like justice was served. They knew it was Richard Allen, and them hearing the evidence themselves. Becky's like basically said all we wanted was the truth. So I know that she knows that it's Richard Allen. It's just a matter of, will the jury see it that way? And a lot of some of the family there, one whatever, was thinking that that he might get off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't think that they're overly concerned about the whole appeal process, really. That it's going to come, it's going to happen, perhaps. And when it does, they'll be prepared for it. But I don't think at this moment, I think that they're just, that the verdict that they were truly waiting for was this verdict.
Yeah.
And then when that time comes and they need to prepare themselves that way again. But I don't feel like it's this thing like, oh, here we got to go on again and again.
I think it's time for them to start healing again, because I think this process opened all those wounds again. I think it's time to get their lives back together and start healing. Are they going to heal 100%? No, never. No. They will never be the same.
No.
It's time to get their lives back.
Through the joke of this court case, in a sense, just the circus of it all, just the hurt and the pain that people have caused the family, the accusations flying and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, this family has been so strong through it all. Honestly, the families, to sit there and keep getting punched in the face and the gut and all that stuff constantly, to have to deal with the 2 murders of these girls and deal with that. That's a lot of crap to deal with, from online trolls, from threats in reality that people that, like are truly in psychosis or whatever. But anyways, it's been a long case for them. Like, do you know what I mean? There's certain cases that they, like they go to trial and they do the stuff and the family members, whatever. But this case has been an utter disaster / circus. And it was just nice to hear Richard Allen guilty on all 4 counts. And Travis, question for you. I say Fran Gull's going to give him 130 years. I think he will be found guilty again as well. Bottom line is, if people believe in the jury and that fairness, then stop being douchebags about it and sitting there trying to claim that the jury, making up all this bull crap now with the jury. I was willing to accept the decision regardless of how it came down. And if the jury decided he was not guilty of this, I might have been disappointed, but I wasn't going to sit there and
blame the jury.
Blame the jury on it. Absolutely not. Right? Again, so it's people using things at their own free will and twisting and changing them as things change themselves. And that's what we saw here with a lot of people. And it's one of those things. I believe so. If it comes back again, he will be found guilty. Why? Again, to me, why? Because he put himself there. He confessed, and to overturn that, I don't see it. I see it being found guilty again. But anyways, each to their own beat of their own drum when it comes to this case. I think that Fran Gull's going to slap 130 years on the dude. He's, because obviously 65 for Abby, 65 for Libby. And I think it's going to run consecutively. Yeah.
I just hope one day to make it fair and clear for everyone. I hope that whatever evidence, DNA that they couldn't test right now, I hope we get there, and hopefully it will come back, the DNA in black and white, and say, hey, it was Richard Allen.
But then, you know what? We know for a fact, then somebody's going to say that they switched out hairs.
Yeah. Now they're going to say that they went and they got his hair. Yeah, it's always going to be somebody.
Those F-tards, they belong in their own freaking planet, whatever. Like I said, I do not care about what their thoughts are. They can deal with their own thoughts and wackiness and ridiculousness about certain things, now a good person, or not say a good person, but, a wise person realizes, what? That the jury saw it as he was guilty. I'm fine with that decision type of thing. Defense, good try, did a good job with what you had at doing it, but I'll accept the decision because, again, that's the whole point, right? Believing in the system, believing that 12 people are going to get it right instead of wrong. That Richard Allen was arrested because of the probable cause and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things, like, nobody be backtracking and shit. If you said it, you said it. But like a wise person, like I said, like myself, you sit there and you realize, hey, this isn't my POI at all. They've arrested a whole different guy. Okay, let me go see. Yep, it is. Yes, I believe that they have the right guy. It's crazy how I still always find it kind of like crazy when they arrested Richard Allen and everybody was like, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is Richard Allen? Like, what? What do you mean this 90 people on a list and none of them are any of them? Like, not one?
I just remember that they so vividly. I was actually driving to Target, and I believe you and somebody else had texted me, and they had sent me actually a picture of another guy. Remember the other guy that we thought it was Richard Allen with the glasses, with, like, I think he was bald.
Yeah.
It was another guy that had the same name, and everybody was saying, yeah, he looks like a killer. He looks like a killer. And it wasn't him.
That jacket. That blue jacket. Oh, I always, one of the things, maybe we'll have to talk about some of these on the live, just some of the things that kind of were said. Like, it was so funny to me how anyone that was wearing a blue jacket was getting reported, so you almost didn't dare wear a blue jacket, because if you did, anyone that saw you, it doesn't matter if you were 100 years old, it was like, I think that my neighbor's the BG. Yeah. because he has a blue jacket. And
I
just the
know.
ridiculousness of some of these things. Like I feel badly for the tip line that had to deal with a lot of these
I
idiots.
know.
And it's not because they just sent it in once. They were
So
just like,
many times. Yeah, well, you become suspicious, right? Even myself. I mean, not that I would, obviously, different state and everything, but my stepdad. I mean, he always uses a blue jacket, and
oh,
I would look at the jacket and I'll be like, "What? Like, this is like BG kind of thing."
did you
But
see support with Steph's question?
yeah, it's a what do you call it? It's a hair band.
Yeah, right, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna have to do one of those lives like today when we just kind of talk about the wackadoodleness of the case and the
Mhm.
just the different things that stood out to us and seeing like I still okay. I mean, this one still gets me is that when Devil's Hop Yard, so basically what it was RTV. Oh, what's that? That was he on when RTV had the footage, right? It was
Mhm.
only after the footage of the crime scene, in a sense, meaning that the helicopter footage was over the crime scene, and so they ended up blacking it out. But that didn't mean that the people watching YouTube people weren't had the footage because it was only later that they blacked it out that day,
Mhm.
type of thing. And so I'll never forget that thing that looks like a bunny, right? Because everything I was using was from the Devil's Hop Yard video at the time of the crime
Mhm.
scene, and until I went, I think a couple years later, I did it myself. What's like, oh god, I have to work at 4 a.m. or get up at for 4:30 a.m. But anyways, um, but that bunny, the one that some people called the bear, I don't know what the fuck that thing was anymore. But I'm telling you, everyone thought there was this big stuffed animal at the crime scene. And and then you're looking and you're talking about runes, and some of them have to do with the gang members of bunnies and stuff like that.
I think a lot of it had to do with the police too, and I mean that, yeah, and even Mr. Ives said, that he was like, oh, there were things in the
Yeah,
crime scene that they were odd.
Kathy Shank should get the
So
thing. The
I
only
think
thing,
that's what it was.
oh,
So
Alexa,
who's
don't you
going to
think that
collect the
Kathy?
reward? So who's going to collect it?
I think Kathy Shank should be getting it. She's the one that
Who?
turned the file over. Kathy Shank, the
Oh,
one
the
that
one
turned
that
the
found
file
the.
over. Mhm. If it wasn't for her, this wouldn't be possible today.
Hmm.
Like it might have happened at some point, but I think Kathy Shank should be well deserving of that reward.
And how much was the reward? What are we up to? What was it, a
What was
hundred
that
and
up to you
something?
guys? 335,000 or something?
Oh, okay. It's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
yeah. When I thought I had the BG, right? When I thought it was Katie, and I thought that I had the BG, I'm just like, and then all husband was saying was like, how much is the reward? I'm like, I don't even know. I wasn't even thinking about it. I had not, because again, husband first thing out of his mouth is how much is the reward? And I'm just like, I don't know. But I never ever thought, woo, yeah, I'm going to get this 200. At the time it was 200,000 or something, 234,000. Some people set their sights literally on that reward. Honestly, that's one of those things like, you don't, I don't even, didn't even think about it. I didn't actually really think about it until people kept saying it. Because my never my will be my motive for doing something for the sake of getting money. Now, if it comes with the territory, so be it. But I mean, once I realized Richard Allen was obviously, and my whole shit went out the window. Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed that I wasn't going to meet up with Oprah and shit. I'm not going to lie, because that was my hope, was that somehow I'd be like, like that hero that was like solve the case for Delphi, and I'd be on Oprah. That was my wish. Yeah, not because I was looking for fame and fortune, but if it came, I was just looking for justice for Abby and Libby. But hey, Oprah was my goal. Okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I thought it would have been the cat's ass if some chick from fucking Canada was sitting there with her magnifying glass, finding freaking moles on somebody's face that actually came out to be legit. It didn't. Mm-mm. But I thought that would have been quite the story to tell. Didn't happen though. In my dreams, my wishes maybe back then, but yep. Yep. Okay. Couple more minutes and then we're gonna head off because my eyes are getting really tired and I have to be up for 4:30 and it's 10:19 now. Okay.
What time do you have to work?
I have to work at 6.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the afternoon or in the morning?
In the morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yep. 6 to 2. It's a fast shift, but it's just getting up at 4:30.
Yeah.
When I got up, it was like 4:19, and I'm like, "Fuck you, time! Fuck you! My alarm's about to go off. No, I need 10 more minutes." So I went to the bathroom, had about 10 more minutes. I hit snooze once, which gave me 9 more minutes, and then I was like, "Shit, I gotta get up because my husband and they need to get ready for work, but they didn't start till 6." So I'm like, "Well, perfect timing, to be honest, because I'm leaving at about even though work is right beside where I live." I left at like 5:35. And I'm there, but I like to set up and be all just ready to go and stuff like that. So yeah, who knows, Sonny? You might still make Oprah one day. Yeah, probably ain't gonna happen. Probably not gonna happen. It will. It will. Maybe in my next life. Okay. I'm gonna come back as maybe her best friend Gail. Yeah. How did Ali know the killer had no criminal record? Because his DNA wasn't in the system. Or was it?
And obviously when they ran when the killer yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they knew. Well, there was no DNA, but
Because there's
anyway.
no DNA. I mean, the DNA that they had didn't match, because it was unknown, first of all. So they didn't know, honestly,
And
they
I
had
think they knew that it wasn't like a
wasn't
serial
it
type
right?
of thing. And I think that's what they said, don't be alarmed, nobody's gonna come after your children because that's how
Tonight.
they knew.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we gotta go. I keep yawning now. You guys, again, if you guys didn't watch us on the Drunk Turkey show, again, it was because I needed to reboot my computer, apparently. Trust me, my husband will always give me shit for this. But anyways, once I rebooted my computer, then YouTube and that were working just fine. Thank goodness it was that simple as rebooting. Oh, there's Alexa. Pop, pop. Like
But I
popcorn.
just pressed something and
Yeah.
it was like,
Oh, Sunny, Travis had there's Ben. What question was that? Did I miss something? Travis. Oh, where's my mouse? There you are. There we go. This one, Alexa. Okay, yeah. I did.
I don't think so. I don't think he wanted to get caught.
Alexa. Okay.
Mhm.
So the only time that really seems like he wanted to get caught to me, just by the information we know, is the fact that he literally said, "I didn't want to walk in the tree lines because I didn't want to basically get caught. So I went up to 300. So that's the only thing I can think about, like, idiot. Why would you walk down a fucking street?
I think he just did it because, after he had done what he had done, the brain is not there. And I think he just wanted to get out of there as fast as he could.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't think he was one of those that wanted to get caught.
You know, how I see this case myself is that every fuck up, everything that was, when the perfect storm happens in the
This is
wrong
it.
way,
Yeah.
this was a perfect storm to me. That there should have been a ton of things that should have led to Richard Allen, whether it was DNA from the crime scene, whether by video. There was so many things, but this was like the perfect storm that happened, and it was almost like Jesus walking on water type of thing. That he could have walked by people muddy and bloody and stuff, but still nobody knew who it was. He's on a video, no one can seem to pick him out. I mean, honestly, it's not because he was this rocket freaking science genius or ninja. It's because sometimes things just happen like that. And it makes you wonder why. like why things happen like that. But this is like somebody that no matter, they could have been standing there yelling, I did it, and everyone would be going, get in my way, we got to look for a killer.
I wonder if the crime scene would have been processed properly.
No
I am
deal.
sure they would have found DNA.
Right.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
This
after
would have
crime
been.
scene. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we both knew, definitely, like, we didn't feel like there was DNA for this case. It was
Yeah.
said often enough. There was nothing to show that they had DNA of the killer, in a sense, from the crime scene. Besides, they had some hairs, and hence why, dog hairs, and because they did have like 172 hairs, I guess, were in, I think it was.
Yeah, but that could also
But
been, from the
right,
ground, the
absolutely.
girls being on the ground and, picking up any hair.
But yeah, there was nothing of Richard Allen's DNA. But the thing is, okay, at the end of the day, again, I believe, like Alexa, that the crime scene was contaminated. Yeah. I mean, they found ISP's hair,
Mhm.
on Libby. So, and then there was people. I believe that the crime scene was contaminated. I don't believe that they processed the crime scene, like Alexa said, inexperienced. They just, they did that. They did what they thought was the best that they can. But the thing is that they really should have let FBI take the lead on this. To be honest with you, and I just feel like Richard Allen went through every loophole that could have happened. And the perfect storm
He
happened.
got lucky with that.
He
And I
got
think he would have gotten even
got
luckier
lucky.
if they wouldn't found, if
Oh
he
no.
never came. I think if he never would have been scared that they had seen him.
They probably would have found car or blood in his vehicle. Had they been on the right track, they would have had blood from his vehicle.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Maybe trophies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
The phone.
But he had 5.5 years to get rid of all that stuff. 5.5 years instead of like boom, right on it.
Mhm.
And that was the problem there. Now I get it that stuff understands, but again, they did so much. Like, how can you not take the sticks of blood, like of sticks that are
Yeah,
lying on the
that's
girls' necks?
but that's
It's
like 101. That's like crime scene
how.
101. Anything that's on top of the victim.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't tell you what the greater purpose of why this happened was, why all this has led to the place that it is today. 5 years, 5.5 years of freedom, and stuff like that. I'm glad to where it is, but sometimes you just have to shake your head and wonder why things happen the way that they do. And I'm sure that there is a reason, always in hindsight, about why things happened a certain way, and maybe that still is yet to be seen. But usually, when you look at things in hindsight, like, you know, I look at it all the time. Like, why does my son hate me so much when his mommy was there? Like, why did God burden me with this type of sadness and stuff like that? Why, when like I'm his mom that was there for him all the time, and yet he sits there and he's his, like, a little father lover, and that was fine. But I was the one that protected my child. I was the one that brought him up. I was the one that raised him. I'm the one that gave him the morals, the caring and all that side. And yet I wonder why, after this was in 2013, the divorce, so 2025, and my son, I asked him the other day, you know Matthew, do you miss talking with your mom? Like, if you were being truthful, do you miss talking with your mom? And want to talk, type of thing. And he's like, I said something like that, and he's like, nope, nope. And I'm like, well, thanks for being truthful. I don't still believe it's his true answer, but he's very angry at me for reasons he actually shouldn't be angry at me. But I keep wondering why I'm getting put upon this hurt and pain on my heart, when you love and care so much about children. And, like my son, especially, was everything to me, has been everything to me. And yet to him, I'm nothing. I'm just a piece of shit, and you wonder why these things come at you. And that's kind of why with RA, like, I just wonder, why did it take this long for justice to, because everything that could have gone wrong for Abby and Libby for justice at the time did, and we're finally seeing the justice now. But it's always hindsight that sometimes gives us the answers.
Yeah.
in that. But anyways, let's see. Right.
Sure.
And yeah, that's what I said to KCL. Like, they didn't get that till August. Those confessions of Richard Allen to Walla, Dr. Walla, right? And so, had that trial happened back in May, when it was supposed to happen, again, to me, it was like Libby and Abby, from above, guiding, making sure that the justice was going to happen. And it's just one of those things. The ironicness of it, how the trial was supposed to be for May, it gets postponed during that time that, they're waiting. The the prosecution had no idea that Richard Allen confessed to that stuff like that, and so, to me, it all became about, I don't care what people call it, divine timing, divine intervention,
Intervention, yeah.
all that stuff. To me, everything has its meaning and its purposes. Why? Sometimes we just don't understand it, and other times we do. Either way, I'll always live my life believing that everything happens for reasons, even if it means that we go through a lot of hurt and pain, or even if it means that we go through a lot of joy and happiness. I know that I can direct my life in which way I want it to go certain ways, but I also believe, again, I want to, I cannot help, and sorry, but I cannot help the fact that my older sister, Satan, there, 20 years is friends in a place in Vancouver of 4 point something million people, that they're best friends, and then they come to find out that they're truly sisters.
That's
You
amazing.
want to talking about winning the lottery? Okay, that would be the equivalent of winning the lottery, to know that your friend in a place of millions, that somehow you connected. You can't tell me that the universe isn't working in mysterious ways. Yeah.
And do you know how many times that happens? Like stuff like that,
Right, KCL.
that's very common, those things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, again, I don't care what anybody else believes in. I'm very spiritual in nature when it comes to believing that things work out for their reasons, and karma will be a bitch. And what you put out to the universe, and when it comes boomeranging back at you, and if you put some bad shit out to the universe, like Rick Snay, right? There's a prime example right there. You put out some bad fucking vibes to the universe, in Abby's and Libby's case, and you be disrespectful and shit, and then you lose your wife, your job, even though I believe he's working again, as a bouncer or something. But anyways, you lose your wife and everything flips on you, and stuff like that. Don't ask yourself why, because don't be shocked with the answer of why, because you put yourself there in that position. You're the one that decided to, whether smoking weed and driving, and lose your wife, because you're a big piece of shit and stuff like that. Karma's a bitch, and then you marry sometimes them. But anyways, that's just, to me, karma coming back at you. So even though sometimes we think someone's getting, everything's going their way and stuff, and then karma's gonna come fucking swing better right up your ass.
We never know. I mean, and the grass is never greener on the other side either. So,
right. But you know what? If you're a decent person in life and you put out good vibes and stuff like that, that's where I can always say that I might not be the perfect person in the world, but you know what?
Nobody's perfect.
Nope. But my heart's in the right place. I care deeply. I love hard, and I care very much about close relationships that mean a lot to me. And I try to do always, and through my job that I have, being in customer service, I can always offer certain things and what I call them is happy customer points. If I can do more for a customer because I have the ability to do so, I will do so. I did the same thing at the hotel, me and my husband. And if we can help somebody out, and if we have the money to do so and stuff like that, then I will do so. So go ahead.
No, and how nice it is. Like when you call customer service and they're like, when somebody is like rude and mean to you, it like gets you so angry. But sometimes, they might just answer just the way they say hello, or, have a nice day, or they ask you how's your day been. Those little things make a big difference.
Absolutely.
So
anyways,
Time to go to bed. Getting a
Justice
little
for
tired.
Abby and Libby. Yeah, justice for Abby and Libby, you guys. And when I do a live next, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. Depends how bored I am or something. Anyways, actually, me and my husband's trying to build shelving and all that stuff. So not sure if I'm going to do a live tomorrow. If there's no reason to, I probably won't. Anyways, you guys, love you. Thank you guys all so much. Let me just quickly do this. Lacey, thank you so much for the $1.99, Miss Dog Lover. Thank you for the $4.99 and support with Steffa. Topping it off with the $9.99. Thank you guys so much. Anyways, regardless of joining us tonight and on Drunk Turkey Show, and justice absolutely served. At least we got that right, Kelly Aaron. We got the right guy. Justice is served. Anyways, it was a pleasure. Thank you, Alexa.
Thank you.
Love you. Love you guys.
Have a good night. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We